Good day everyone! Today, we will talk about the documentary I witnessed Uuwi si Udong by Cara David. It is about a 10-year-old boy named Udong who works in the sugarcane fields with his father to help his family earn money and pay their debts. Even though he is still young, he faces many hard challenges and continues to help his family. In our presentation, we will give a short summary of the documentary and study it using the 9 disciplines of social sciences, which will help us understand the different problems shown in the story and the lessons we can learn from Udong's life.
In the documentary, the people's situations are heavily influenced by a culture of generational poverty and the belief that children must contribute to family survival and be landed as child labor. One of them is Udong, a 10-year-old participant who believes that he is already old enough to work. He also mentioned that he prefers to work rather than play outside because of their lifestyle. He grew up with this mindset because he was already exposed to the harsh reality of life that they experience.
Instead of going to school and living their youth to the fullest, children like Udong and Toto go to fields to work instead. Instead of building a future for themselves, they are tied up to pay debts older than them. Generational poverty and child labor are interconnected in this documentary and in their community. A child born in a struggling household doesn't wait for responsibility to be dictated to them. They own up to it, as the parents claim in the documentary. The children are being influenced by the environment they are used to. They grow up living for others, carrying burdens that were not even theirs to hold, and fulfilling responsibilities that were not even theirs to begin with. As mentioned in the documentary, most of them were not given the chance to study. The lack of access to free education allows poverty and child labor to strive in such marginalized areas and for the heartbreaking cycle to continue. This results in children being neglected in education, like doors being closed before they even open. This shows how our government continues to fail us through the lack of access to free education, through failing to protect the children and their rights, and the lack of support for our country's backbone, our agriculture.
Udong and Toto were forced to work at a young age because their family had a lot of debt and living in poverty. Udong believed that working was better than playing like other children because he could earn money and wanted to help his father who was getting older. Toto, on the other hand, was forced to work to pay off his father's debt. Although Udong's father and Toto all came from Aklan and worked as ekadas, they had different views about their lives. Toto never wanted to return because he felt lonely and wanted to stay in his hometown. In contrast, Udong wanted to continue working to earn money and help his family. This shows that the same place affected them differently.
The size of each family varies depending on the situation. For instance, Toto's family has recently grown because his mother just gave birth. Practically speaking, adding another person to the household means extra pressure to provide for everyone's needs. Ultimately, living in a large family requires working twice as hard.
Historically, the Philippine sugarcane industry is one that's lasted since the Austronesian settlements. Moving on to the 19th century, it was transformed into the massive commercial plantations during the Spanish colonial period and subsequently the American colonial era. In the case of Udong, he has long since forfeited his childhood for the sake of working like his father and his father before him. When asked about his prospects and aspirations in life, he simply wishes to continue working the plantation. He doesn't think about any bigger dreams or Udong. Life is just work, work, work.
The documentary of Eyewitness, Uuwi na si Udong by Cara David uses simple and clear and conversational Filipino language, making Udong's story easy to understand.
Watching Uuwi na si Udong made me realize how unfair life can be for many children in the Philippines. Instead of going to school and enjoying their childhood, many are forced to work at a young age just to help their family survive. Udong's story was heartbreaking. The documentary showed that child labor is not a choice. It is often caused by poverty, limited opportunities, and lack of support for families.
To help stop child labor, the government should provide more jobs, financial assistance, and better access to education so children can stay in school instead of working.
To conclude, Eyewitness, Uuwi na si Udong presents issues related to child labor, poverty, and inequality. In the context of many Filipino children, the case of Udong demonstrates through the perspective of the 9 areas under social sciences how cultural, social, political, economic, geographic, historical, psychological, demographic, and linguistic factors affect his life.
It's a story about a child named Udong, a 10-year-old boy from Aklan who works as a sakada with his fathers in Negros Occidental.
Then, it also brings in Toto, another child who is made to work because his family is already stacked with them. The film shows this repeating cycle where poverty keeps pushing kids into child labor.
The documentary kind of reminds viewers that every child has the right to education, protection, and a safe childhood. It also pushes you to reflect on how important it is to address poverty, because no child should be forced to work just to keep living.